Hey, good morning, folks. This is Rick Barron from Lincoln Vlogs. Today I wanted to address the killings in the Florida high school tragedy. I could not imagine what those parents and family members are going through, and so I will not comment on their grief, but to extend my heartfelt condolences. I have listened all week to the irrational, logical, and emotional rantings of most everyone from the president on down the line, to include the latest revelation regarding the deputy sheriff, who apparently, because we don't know the truth regarding his behavior, managed to remain outside the facility. Don't know what that's all about. It certainly doesn't leave one with a warm and fuzzy feeling. I'm both shocked and yet unsurprised by how quickly people are drawn into a discussion without truly understanding the problem. Hey, but that's America. I will address each one of these issues surrounding this tragedy and bring some common sense to the discussion. First of all, we as citizens are required to bear arms to protect ourselves from the very government that oversees our lives. Firstly, because it's our right. Secondly, because of their ineptness. The government did not protect our children once again at that school. Everyone knows this, but it seems that most hysterical people miss that clue. We can have the discussion about the gunman, but the government, to include the school authorities, failed to protect these children, period. This is not rocket science. A daycare typically has strict rules regarding who can enter and exit the premises. But for whatever reason, when one becomes a teenager, the value must decline. It's just like a used car. It starts to depreciate, and we lose interest. My son was in junior high school and left the premises to walk to a local store during the lunch hour with his classmate, a distance of approximately a quarter of a mile. He was stopped by an undercover detective and given a Class C misdemeanor. He had to go to court, answer to the judge, pay a fine, and do community service. Yes, this was against their rules, but I do believe this was at the beginning of his junior year. He may not have been aware of the rule. Okay, fine. Rather harsh punishment for a first offense by comparison here. We're talking about 17 children dead, shot down, gunned down, because these idiots at the school level, the superintendents, the authorities, the local authorities, could not figure out how to keep idiots like this gunman out of the building. This is really just beyond. But of course, you don't hear that. No one's taking responsibility for this. Not a word of it is mentioned. The second issue is to fortify the schools. This, to me, is the core issue. One can train the students to hide under a desk because there's a live shooter wandering the halls, but how did the idiot manage to bridge the school entry points to begin with? See, the authorities do not wish to discuss this matter in any detail. It's easier to attempt to take away gun rights than it is to truly understand the problem. On CNN the other night, we had Marco Rubio and some other senators and representatives and the police chief, everybody pointing fingers. But the gunman entered the school building with an AR-15. I mean, really, how lame is this? How lame can it become? And of course, that wasn't mentioned on the program last night. This to me is a no-brainer. You have children and teachers and staff inside the facility doing their jobs. And they do not need to be subject of an attack. This is the reality of our world, but the students are there to study, teachers to teach, etc., period. Not to defend themselves about a live active shooter wandering the halls of a school. Arming the teacher is about as sick as one can get. This is the stupidest idea ever heard of. And it even came from President Trump. I mean, what the hell is the man thinking? I know he's more intelligent than that. At that point, the gunman's already breached the facility. How dumb can one be? So if he came in on one end and the teacher with the gun is down the other end, just like the deputy sheriff sitting on in his car, I mean, really, the damage has been done. And so it's okay to have a shootout in biology class, but we could not stop the perp from entering the building. Who's the genius that created that defensive mechanism? This is why we should fear government. This is the way they think. Let's put a Band-Aid on it. So it's 17 children. What is that? 17 learning lessons? We'll get around to it. Columbine occurred how many years ago now? Almost 20 years? And we're still dealing with the same problem. Young people enter the building armed to the teeth with guns. The entry and exit points to the school must be secured, period. I even hesitate to say it's plural. It should be the entry point. Make it one if you have to. The authorities have the responsibility to secure the students. If that means a metal detector and a search of each student, so be it. Leave half of your shit at home, okay? Bring your backpack with a couple of books or whatever it is you need in there, and leave the goddamn guns at home. At least if someone is attempting to bring an AR-15 into the facility, somebody's going to know it. At the lunch hour, typically seniors that I have seen and others leave for lunch. Fine, someone's posted at the exit. No one's allowed to enter through that rear door. And after about 15 minutes after the beginning of the lunch hour, the door's resecured. Returning students come through the front. And they're researched again. If they leave their bags in their lockers before they leave, then only take a moment to step through the second search. All visitors enter through the front, not allowed to enter the other areas of the facility. They have no business being in a school facility anyway. Fine, repair people, maintenance people, they all go through the same checks. I think you're going to know it if they have a rifle or an AR-15 in their tool bag. Maybe even a gun, a handgun. The campus itself becomes a secure perimeter, if necessary, patrolled. There's an entrance to the property and an exit. It's marked. Another no-brainer. Cannot be that expensive to institute and maintain. Rather than spending the money on renaming the school to something more politically correct, they could institute these small adjustments. If the matter of campus safety is made clear from the beginning that one cannot come onto the property of a school campus without passing through the main gate and checkpoint, don't enter. Period. That's all. Put the word out. Everybody knows. Everybody's aware of it. You're not going to get in without authorization. Yes, we have many external social problems, okay? Families, drugs, mental illness, all of that is a separate argument, though. Has nothing to do with a mentally deranged person with an AR-15 entering a school building freely on his own at will. Yes, there should be more effective cooperation between local authorities and the schools without question regarding a lot of these issues of these young people. It's not being done. 39 times the police visited Mr. Cruz. Just absorb that thought for a moment. 39 times. Should it have been 10 times or 50 times before something was seriously done? The student in the classroom, in the cafeteria, at the football game is defenseless. That's the first priority. Anyone caught allowing someone to open from an interior fire door to allow someone in will be prosecuted. That's all. It's a statement. It's a policy of the school. Time to get smart, folks, really. This reactionary response by all of these idiots and the town hall meeting, the president's meeting, okay, it's good dealing with the emotions of it all. Yes, horrific what occurred. But they're irrational, nonsensical answers. Have a place also for the students to anonymously report potential crimes. What is so difficult about this? They can drop it in a box. No cameras around, no association, no name to just, here it is. This is what somebody told me. Why is that so difficult? Number 5 is be proactive. Tired of everyone being praised for reacting. Oh, look at how quickly the first responders got there. The police were there. The medical was there. The hospital was ready. Shit, that's after everybody's dead. It's bullshit, folks. All the talk has been what to do after an active shooter has entered the facility. This is truly a bizarre perspective, really. We can get to all of those first responders and the police and all that afterwards. Why wasn't he stopped before he even entered the property or stopped at the entrance to the property? Forget even going in the building. One authority figure mentioned that he was at another school at the time of the shootings took place. He was giving away a car to a teacher for her exemplary work. Okay, fine. That's perfectly fine. Maybe she deserved it, maybe she didn't. But now in hindsight, do you understand how just twisted we are? Where's the priorities? What will it take for people to wise up, shake up this government? The government should be concerned that people have guns. Yes, that's telling you how corrupt the government is and why we need to be protected from them. They're not doing their job, but you won't hear about it from them. Oh no, they will not bring this up. They're talking about gun control. They're not talking about school control. They're talking about gun control. How about better communication between the school, law enforcement, and related agencies to deal with these wayward students? Because let me tell you, there's thousands of these kids out there. Just in my community alone, I know there are. The community must engage with the students, the parents, the local authorities, and the school authorities. The school authorities have to be held accountable. Okay, so what? A student ID. That is not a foreign subject. But a student ID with a check and a search when you enter the building. The student ID just gets you through the door. It doesn't get you through the search. And hey, how about this concept? Why don't we just try it? What do we have to lose? When and what will it take? No one wants to blame the schools, in spite of the fact that the schools are where the killings are occurring. Most primary, middle, and high schools are housed in one building, okay? This cannot be too difficult to control. And if we cannot control it, then tear the damn facility down and build one that's controllable. This is just more PC culture gone amok. Yes, we can blame the FBI. They did drop the ball. There's no question about this. They dropped the ball. But it's the local law enforcement and the schools to know who these people are. They knew who this guy was. It's where it all started from. The boy was expelled, and with both parents dead, nobody wanting him, what was he supposed to do but completely lose his mind? This is not rocket science, folks. Maybe we should move to a minority report, develop some cognitives who can predict a murder or even a crime is about to occur. Maybe this may be a solution. But in this case, many people knew how unstable this young man was, and nothing was done anyway. But we're not going to talk about that at the moment. We're going to talk about gun control. Newt Gingrich made some remarks the other evening. They were good, heartfelt, but they fell way too short of the mark. He said nothing about stopping it at the entrance to the school. It's not rocket science again, folks. Focused on the problem. A gunman freely entered a government-run educational facility for children with an assault rifle, and nothing was done to stop him. Why is this so difficult, so damn difficult, to comprehend? Banning assault weapons will not stop this from occurring. This character could have just as easily entered with a few pipe bombs. Just tossed them into a classroom and eliminated 40 people at a time. Hey, you know what? That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but doubtful. Thank you.